Another video for the Knapping subreddit. So I've been getting questions about my tools. A lot of guys are getting questions about the tools, and the tools are important, but they're not as important as understanding the angles. But we'll go over some tools here. I have several different sizes of copper bopper. Over the years I've amassed a lot of tools. These are lead filled. I got a set of these from flintnappingspalls.com, a set of 5. I don't know who the 5th one is. They're only varying sizes. I think they were like $40 for the 5 of them, or $50. I mean, you can't beat it. You really can't. I sound like a walking advertisement for those guys. I really like them. I think they're good people. Now, as far as that is what I use for, copper percussion work. I have a set that are like these. These are solid head copper boppers. This is for some heavy lifting. You can see they're beat to death. You're not going to want to use these for real detail work. Some guys do. I do not. This is for like spalling. It's just like a spalling hammer for me. Your results may vary. These are another style of solid copper bopper. I bought a lot of tools trying to find stuff that would work, but the answer is not really in the tools, But anyway, when you want to reset these, you kind of grind the ends back off around and you're good to go. These are here. These are stout. Let's see here. This tool is 3 pig leather pads that I riveted together. Get that in the frame. And then this, you put your piece on to work on. I recommend getting a leg pad. Everybody should have at least one leg pad. A whole variety of reasons you should have a leg pad. It protects your clothes, it protects your leg. There's things you can do on this that you can't do on anything else. It gives you a place to put the piece, and if you put enough of them together, it protects your leg. So that you can have some support and you can swing. This is a moose antler billet. I use this for big heavy percussion on obsidian and dacite for big heavy bifaces. It makes nice big flat flakes. You can use those flakes then to make a lot of different points. I find that I do better with this on those types of materials than I do with the copper bopper. So for some of my smaller points, this is a tool that I made. It's just a piece of copper pipe, end beaten flat. I saw this on a DC Waldorf video. And when I want to touch it up, I'll just take a file to the end here to make it nice and flat. But what this is a shearing tool. So you'll use this tool to shape flakes. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but see, if you look at this flake here, this flake's already kind of triangular. I don't know that it's thick enough to begin with to make a point out of, but we're going to use it to show the shearing tool. But you can see this edge right here is all wavy and weird. Okay, we're going to lay that piece down and rock that shearing tool over and down and on top of that edge. Whoops, that's what happens when the pieces are thin. And that's rounded off. Then we'll do it on the bottom. Okay, and that gives you a nice straight edge to work with. And it stouts up the platform to take crusher flakes or things like that. Yeah, so that's what I use. You move platforms and stout up edges on small points with that. Don't use that too much in percussion. I do most of my platform adjustment with my boppers. I have, these are carborundum abraders. It's just like a 5-inch grinding wheel you get at Home Depot. Hit them with a hammer in the middle, they smack into different size pieces, they break. And then you use the different pieces to abrade your edges. So these would have started out in frame. Frame is tough. these would have started out like this one. And this one's got a little wear on it. But as they get smaller, these smaller ones don't overpower if you're doing fine pressure work. They don't overpower your edges. You know, that one you can easily break that full size one, you can easily break a full, almost done point because it's super thin and everything's almost broken anyway. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, okay. So I also have heavy lifters. I have several different pads. Where's that pad? This is I've had this pad probably for a decade. It's a leather pad. I use it for adjusting finicky platforms with pressure flakers and stuff. Don't do too much flaking. I do some, but I notch on this pad too. But most of the flakes I take on a notched pad like this. You put the piece on there and flake into the notch, you know. This is a pressure flaker. I like to beat the ends to this nice trapezoidal cross section. I need a better camera. And I adjust that with a file. Keep the edge sharp. You can take flakes with a dull edge, and I do all the time, but it takes more pressure, more power, and you're more apt to break the thinner pieces. This is an Ishi stick. Same idea as a pressure flaker, just bigger. It allows you to really ramp up the power on that, really use your legs and your body to really drive a flake. I suggest learning how to flake with one of these. A lot of people think you need more power, and that's why your flakes ain't running long. But that ain't the case. It's something to do with your platform or something like that. You're going to overpower stuff. You're going to hurt yourself with this. Learn how to use a small flaker and get the flakes you want. And then when you get a tough material or you have a very wide piece, then use this. But taking this flaker and using it on a piece like this, which I just got done making, you're going to just break it, man. It just ain't going to take that beating because it's thin. Okay? Now that piece I just showed you, I notched with this notcher. Now all this stuff, I buy all my tools from FlintKnappingSpalls.com or FlintKnappingTools.com. You can make all these too. I just find that it's easier for me to just buy them. I was going to order the Delrin and get the dies and tap stuff, and they're so cheap. It's easier for me just to buy them. Some guys may already have that stuff, you know. So this is a small nail in this notcher, regular old nail like you'd use in a house, and I shape and dress all my tools on this anvil back here. Okay, so even the copper pressure flakers, to get that trapezoidal or that diamond cross section, I dress them on this anvil. Now you don't need to go buy a brand new anvil to dress your tool. A piece of steel, plate, something steel, copper soft, you know. I just happen to have this here. It works really well for that, so that's what I use it for. So I kind of beat this to shape, and then these points, these square edges are key. I beat these to shape here, and then I use a file to get them sharp. Now you're going to go through these nails on this because you are going to file these constantly. If it's dull, it's going to take more power to release the notch. You're going to blow the ears off. If you're having trouble with stuff, stop for a minute and dress your tools. Always dress your tools. Whenever I start breaking stuff, I say, hold on, wait a minute. And I step back and I get my pressure flaker sharp, my Ishi stick sharp, my notcher sharp. And it typically, that turns things around for me. But like this point here, that just sits here, you can see I blew ears out on this thing like crazy. Okay? And there's probably a variety of reasons why these ears blew off. But one of the main ones is I was using that tool because that's the tool I use on the thicker materials, and the edge wasn't sharp. And if the edge isn't sharp, if you don't stop, I'll stop 2 or 3 times in a notch this deep and sharpen that edge. If you don't do it, you're going to lose point. Nails are cheap. You know, these copper nails, these are copper nails I buy off that website. These are cheap. You can do this with wire. You know, a lot of guys are worried that you're going to file your pressure flakers to death, and you're going to, you know, don't worry about it. File them. Get them sharp. Try to control all the factors that are in your power to control to keep from breaking points. What else? Oh, I use several. This is if I do some abo work, I do some hammerstone work. So I have an abrader here. All I use that for is abrading. I have a small hammerstone that I'll use sometimes. I use this to take flakes. I can use this like a shearing tool, like I was just showing you guys. Just set it down just like the other shearing tool and rake the edge. And all you're doing is taking hundreds of tiny little pressure flakes and moving the platform. See this platform? You can pressure flake off that sucker all day. It's a good pressure flake platform, copper anyway. Alright. What else do we have laying around here? Let's see. I have several different pads out. I have deer antler pressure flakers and deer antler billets if I ever want to do some avo work. Not as good with this stuff as I am with the copper. I just use more of the copper. I can do it. I can pull stuff off, but I like the little thin notches. And something I have the old diamond files for when I get stuck, which happens. And I also have, this is a carbide tipped pencil to sign points. If you want your point signed, a lot of times you should sign your points just to keep, people from reselling them. I mean, if they're going to knock your signature off and resell them as authentic, there's not much you can do about that, but at the least you can try. And, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. At least the ones I use the most. So, thanks for watching. I hope this clears some stuff up. Have a good evening.